This has been a really difficult summer, a difficult season of life, and I'm getting onto the other side of it now. And we've had a lot of changes happening around here. And I'm entering a new chapter, a new season of life. And it's kind of exciting, and I've got so many feelings about it. Last weekend, my daughter moved out, and this is the third of 5 children, the third one to move out, and now I only have 2 left at home. And this is a really significant change for me. It just feels kind of surreal, and it really hasn't sunk in yet. There was a lot of build-up to her moving out, and there was a lot of work involved in it, especially for me as her mother, taking her out, helping her, and there was just so many things that she needed. And also she moved out of town, so she's a few towns over, and it's all been very exciting and a lot of work. And I feel like now that it's been just over a week that she's been gone, things are starting to slow down, and there's a lot of calm and quiet around the farm, and I'm really not quite used to this. I mentioned in my last video that I decided to not garden this year and to take a year off of gardening, and I'm actually so glad now that I made that decision, because I think it was just my intuition that told me I was going to be too busy, and I was right. And, I really have missed my garden so much this year. It's been so hard. And my flower garden is kind of disintegrating and going to seed, and I really didn't get a lot of use out of my flower garden this year, so I went out and decided to pick some of the last of my remaining flowers. And it's very sad. It's kind of bittersweet for me because I love my gardens so much, but I know that there's going to be so many more years of that. And the time that I've been able to spend with my daughter and with my kids has been so invaluable that I know it was the right decision, but it has been hard. So I went out and picked these flowers, and I just want them to kind of put a little bit of cheer into the house, because I'm feeling a little bit of that empty nest right now. Busy seasons of life can be really difficult to get through, but there's just so much goodness in them as well. And I feel like there's no time to reflect until later on when things have calmed down. And it's just kind of one of those things where you're going and going and going, and you don't have time to reflect until maybe fall or winter. And I'm kind of looking forward to that. This time of year is when my husband and I really start to reach kind of a burnout phase, because the farming season, it starts off really slow, and then it builds and it builds, and then summer is just full on every day, and even on the weekends, there is work to be done. And it just gets to the point where I really need to do things that balance me. And one of those things is taking care of the home. Today is a Saturday, and with only 2 kids at home, actually both of them are leaving today. My son is working, and my daughter is going to my parents' house for the night. And so the house is empty. And you guys, this never, ever happens. It is such a rare thing. It's wonderful and disturbing all at the same time. I'm outside picking some vegetables from our farm to go with my dinner that I'm going to make tonight. And one of the questions that I asked you guys a few videos back was, what do you cook if you live in a hot climate? Because I've really, really struggled with cooking this summer. And especially in the heat waves that we've had, it's difficult to turn on your oven, your stove. You just feel so sick and tired of anything hot. And so I put that question out there and you guys answered me. And one of the results of that really struck home was to use a slow cooker. And you guys, this was amazing because I have had slow cookers all throughout the years of my kids growing up. But when we moved into the farmhouse, I actually got rid of my slow cooker because I had a Dutch oven. And I figured because I'm around all the time now and I don't leave home that I wouldn't need a slow cooker. But obviously I do need one. And so I went out and got one. And that's what I'm going to be using for tonight's dinner. This is our cucumber patch, and we've got mini cucumbers in here, which is really exciting, but you need to pick them every day. And if you don't get to them in time, you end up with some bigger ones that you can't sell. And so those are the ones that I bring inside and eat in the house. Another really big change that we had happen recently was that one of our workers ended up leaving and quitting because she lived about a half an hour out of town. And so she didn't realize how much driving it was going to be for her to work on our farm. And so it just didn't end up working out. There was a farm close to her that she ended up switching and working for them just because it made a lot more sense. But that was such an unfortunate thing for us, especially mid-season. And so my husband had to kind of scramble and put another ad out to find someone. And he was really lucky to find someone else right away. And so it was kind of seamless because she finished working on a Friday and then my husband ended up getting the new worker to come in the following Monday. So it really ended up working out, but it has been a little bit stressful. But we're just really happy that it all ended up working out. My husband and I have very different roles on the farm, and we're very lucky in that we complement each other and kind of fill each other's voids. So my husband deals with the stress of the workers and hiring people and managing all of that farm stuff. And my management is really the inside of the home and taking care of the food and making sure that kids get driven where they need to get driven to. and I take care of the household cleaning, and I also work on the farm, but my role is becoming less, and I take care of the microgreens part of our business, which runs out of our basement. And so I don't work outside nearly as much as he does. And I really like that, to be honest. I love working on the farm, but I much prefer my role in the house. Last night's dinner was a split pea soup, and I'm reheating that for lunch today. I made that in the slow cooker. And so I'm cleaning up the slow cooker, and the model that I got does not have an insert that comes out. The insert is kind of stuck in there. And so it's a little bit trickier to clean, but it was what I could find. There's not a ton of slow cookers available right now, so I just snatched it, and I'm okay with it. And I'm just getting my lunch ready, warming up the soup, and I'm slicing up these cucumbers to make a little sort of cucumber salad, if you will. It's a way that I like to do the cucumbers, and my kids love this. It's so good, and it's so simple. What I do is I layer the slices of cucumbers, and I season with salt and pepper, and then I just sprinkle a little bit of rice wine vinegar on top, the type that you use for Asian cooking, because it's a little bit lighter. It's not quite as strong as a white vinegar. It has a really nice flavor. And then I put more cucumbers and more salt and pepper and more vinegar, and I just keep layering it like that. And it kind of tastes like a salt and vinegar chip, but on a cucumber. And it's so good. We can eat so many of these if I do it this way. And cucumbers are also very sort of hydrating this time of year. So I just love that. So I'm just warming up this lunch, and I'm going to get eating. And then I'm going to be getting on to my dinner meal using the slow cooker. Getting a slow cooker really brought back a lot of memories of cozy meals that I've made in slow cookers. And it's really got me thinking about fall time, which is coming right ahead, and all of the things I'm going to be able to make in it. So I am just so excited about this. And I have to say, even a little obsessed. I get obsessive about things, and I kind of go all in. And that's how I feel about the slow cooker right now. I'm making a very simple chicken dish. I am just adding these chicken breasts right into my slow cooker. I got these on sale and popped them in the freezer right away. And so I've defrosted them overnight. I'm putting them in there. And then I'm just simply adding onions, garlic, sliced up carrots that I picked, and then 2 cans of cream of mushroom soup, and a little bit of seasoning. It couldn't be easier than this. I'm just going to let this cook away all day, and then I'm going to break up the chicken and then put it over some noodles. And this just seems comforting, and even though we're still getting hot weather, it is cooling off a little bit. It's not quite the heat wave that we had. And so I feel okay about having a warmer dinner like this. So I just love, love, love this. I grew up watching my mom cook and then helping her cook. And I think that I cook in a very similar way that she does, and I like similar meals that she does. And one of the things that I make almost identical to the way that she does is spaghetti sauce. And that has been a staple throughout my entire adult life. It's one of the things that I learned from her that I have made since the time that I moved out and had kids, and I continue to make to this day, is a nice meaty spaghetti sauce. If you've been watching my channel for a long time, you might know that I am a lover of vintage things. And here is a clip of my daughter moving out. And this is the new town that she lives in. We explored it and we hit some antique stores, and I picked up these vintage beauty books. It was so exciting, and I got such a good deal on them. They were only $3 each, and they're from the wartime period, from the 1940s. And I am a lover and a collector of vintage things, but especially during the wartime. I've always felt this connection to World War II, and I've collected things from World War II for years. And I found out some bombshell information through my mom that I never knew, and I was so shocked. I found out about a year ago now that my grandfather on my mother's side, who I never grew up around any of my relatives, he was a prisoner of war in a war concentration camp during World War II, and he escaped. And I guess they came to his town and took all of the young men and brought them all to the war camps, and they had to work there. And I think him and a friend escaped, and they were the only ones from the town to manage to get back there. And so I never knew that, but I always felt this connection to World War II and that time period, and now I know why. And this is our old van that kind of kicked the bucket, and we need to sell it and get a little bit of money out of it. It still runs and drives, but we needed a different vehicle. And so this one I have to clean up, and we're going to be selling it. So that's one of the jobs that I need to get done right now. I managed to get quite a bit of things done in the time that my chicken dish was in this slow cooker. And it's about dinner time, so I'm just going to be boiling up the noodles and also boiling some corn. And my husband and I were realizing that we were in the house completely alone with no kids. And like I said, this never happens. And so it felt so eerie. If you are a mother or father of multiple children, you know how noisy a house is and how bustling it is with a lot of kids around. And to have no kids in the house just felt so strange and so weird. I'm not used to it. And it was also kind of exciting at the same time. There is this corn farm that we go to every single year, and we drive past it when we do our deliveries for our farm. And we've been waiting and waiting, and they finally have their corn out. So we picked some up, and we're having some with tonight's dinner. It's just one of those days where I got a lot done, but I'm also kind of just dreaming about sweaters and blankets and cozy socks and fall time and pumpkins and all of those fall things I'm so looking forward to. I just can't wait. And I know it's just around the corner. And I just need to make it through these hard, hot days just a little bit longer. There's just something about cooking in a slow cooker that just makes everything taste so much better. And my husband was really, really happy about this dish. It turned out really good. It was simple. There wasn't a ton of ingredients, but it was really tasty, and he complimented me on it. And that always makes me really happy. So it did turn out delicious, and there's just so many things that I look forward to in this slow cooker. I never anticipated being a family of 4, living on the farm, just the 4 of us, and it's a big, big change. It's even a change in how I cook and how much I cook. But I'm so excited about this new journey for my daughter and her learning to become a homemaker all her own. If you're new to my channel, hit that subscribe button if you enjoyed this video. I share a new video every single week on homemaking, food from scratch, and life on our farm.